Hi everyone, my name is Megan Wood, and today I would like to tell you a little bit about the dispositions and beliefs that I possess that make me a successful educator. So let's get right into the first part, which are the dispositions that I believe I have that make me successful. The first would definitely have to be that I believe every child can learn. I know that this sounds cliche sometimes, but I truly, truly believe that every single child is capable of some type of achievement. I feel like it's my job as their teacher to really discover their strengths and their weaknesses and go from that to creating realistic goals and expectations for them. And I think the key word there is realistic. Not every child is going to make the same amount of gains in the same amount of time, but being able to show them that they did better in the end than they did in the beginning is going to show them growth, and that will definitely raise their self-esteem and maybe motivate them to try things that they found challenging in the past. The second disposition that I believe I possess is exercising sound judgment and ethical behavior. I had the most amazing childhood, and my parents made sure to instill a very strong sense of right and wrong from a very early age. My entire family attended church together for as long as I can remember, and all of us were very involved in our community. And so I think that all of those skills that I learned as a child and even as a young adult have definitely followed me into adulthood as well as into my career. So I like using things in my classroom such as logical consequences because I think that I'm definitely teaching the children that are essential problem-solving life skills that they can use in the future. So I found a proverb recently that I'd like to share with you that I think fits really well with this, and I try to remind myself of it a few times, um, just as the day goes by. It is Proverbs 22:6, and it says, "Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it." So next, I would like to talk about maybe some dispositions that I feel I can work on to help myself grow as an educator. And the first would definitely have to be reflection. I feel like we as educators are constantly reflecting on things that we could do differently or maybe things that even went really well. However, I find that I hardly ever really take the time to sit down and make notes about um, things that went well and things that didn't go very well. I feel like, I might teach the same lesson the next year and, I haven't taken the time to really write down things that should have been done differently. Um, and then I kind of remind myself, oh, kind of I should have done this, but I didn't devote the actual time to reflecting on my lessons and my planning and things like that. So I feel like actually taking the time and devoting that time, even if it means staying a little later after school, will definitely benefit not only me but my future students as well. Um, a second disposition that I think I can improve on is being sensitive to the social needs of students and embracing the cultural diversity of a community. It really wasn't until we moved to the area that we live in now that I truly realized the impact that a culture and a community can have on a child's academic success. Many of the students here in this district do not speak English as their first language. Many of them also come from very low income communities, and so almost all of the schools here deliver breakfast to the classrooms every morning and allow the children the time to eat. And so I think the schools here truly believe that making sure that their basic needs are met before they move on to their academic needs is essential. And I think that that is something that has definitely opened my eyes here, just to how much cultural diversity exists, not only in one school, but how much can actually exist in just one classroom. And so I think that I can definitely work on maybe celebrating that diversity a little bit more in my future classrooms. And so the last thing that I'd like to touch on is just a few things that I think a professional educator, or ways that, oh, I'm so sorry, um, what I believe a professional educator looks like. So I definitely think professional educators are approachable. Children, as well as their parents, have to feel comfortable sharing their opinions and maybe even their issues with you, just to be able to form those relationships that are so important. I definitely also believe professional educators are always trying to better themselves. Attending professional development meetings, taking college courses, attending conferences, anything that's going to further our knowledge and make us better teachers for our students, I believe is very important. I also believe that it's important for educators to collaborate with other staff in the building as well as maybe their other teaching partners. You can always learn something new from the people that you work with day in and day out. I also believe professional educators are caring. It wasn't until I became a mom that I truly started to think about what kind of teacher I wanted my daughter to have one day. And so I really, really strive every day to be the kind of teacher that I want her to have one day. And I want my children to feel loved and accepted and cared for whenever they come to school and they are with me. And that is actually all that I have today, but thank you so much for taking the time to learn a little about my strengths as an educator as well as my opinions on what a professional educator should look like. So have a great day.